Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, August 2nd, around 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2021. A small earthquake swarm on Reykjanes Ridge has people looking towards Iceland as an Alaska volcano is under watch. But the big story: thunderstorms bring hundreds of lightning strikes to southern Oregon, sparking dozens of fires. Keep calm, it's boom time, and the fires are small. Hundreds of lightning bolts hit dry Oregon, well, soon to be wet, and start new fires, which are of limited consequence. New Central Oregon storms also bring large hail and rain. Isn't that insane? Evacuation orders issued due to lightning fires in Siskiyou County. The river complex fires are located within the western Klamath National Forest, with some areas now under evacuation in the Antelope Fire, which is tiny, only 105 acres. Not to be concerned about, but it is being blown up as big news, as the Boot Lake Fire was once claimed to be burning for years into the winter, is now quelched by rains that were not predicted by global warming alarmists. So the Boot Lake Fire went from 50% contained to 60% contained to 70% contained, and now 84% contained in just 48 hours. Hours of powers. The Boot Lake Fire is now not going to burn forever into the winter or whatever the alarmists said. And that's not anywhere on the headlines. But hiker struck, killed by lightning near John Muir Trail in the Sierra Wilderness of Fresno County by lightning. Man suffers shock through video game controller after lightning strikes Robertson County, and he hasn't been out of the basement for decades. Yosemite National Park update on lightning ignited fires for Monday, August 2nd. Firefighters are routinely monitoring lightning behavior. Powerful storm brings hail, flash flooding, and lightning to the Inland Empire. San Bernardino County torrential rain pounded parts of Riverside where it hasn't rained in years, according to global warming alarmists. Now everything is shaped like lightning in Texas, or hail in this case. Hail-shaped lightning, or lightning-shaped hail? No, Texas-shaped hail, which probably was associated with lightning. Look at this. It even has like a hole in it for a pendant. Holy macaroni. Colorado flash flood shuts down highway due to damage unlike anything seen before. Eva. I've been on this road and it's actually scared the out of me when I drove on it. But it's I-70 and it's shut down due to torrential rains. Rains fell on the Grizzly Creek fire burn scar from last year, showing how climate change, a wildfire, you idiots, impacts the situation. This has nothing to do with climate change. It has to do with a fire and a burn scar. So just very poor reporting from Gizmodo. But that's poor reporting from everyone. More heavy rain, flash flooding in the forecast for parts of Colorado. We just got a quick burst of a half an inch, which is sending some mud flows down our road. Another round of flooding possible as new flood warnings and watches are issued in, yes, Utah, even as most of the Utah cleans up and dries out. I wonder how many people have died in the canyons, in the canyonlands here this year. I haven't heard any reports, but it's certainly a wet year in the Four Corners. In some regions, it's extremely dry. I haven't seen anything like this. U.S. wheat farmers' woes, decimated corn crops, no feed for livestock. What will we eat? Wavy jet streams called meridional flow are throwing farmers something of a curveball in 2021 as global temperatures continue to fall in line with the ever-intensifying grand solar minimum that we're reporting on. Look at that devastating melt in Greenland is now upticking back into the build. Holy macaroni. As food prices soar, Big Ag is having a field day. Of course, commodities prices are controlled and, well, Big Ag gets rich while the little farmer gets poor. Al Gore's a whore. UAH satellite-based temperatures of the lower global lower atmosphere coming from Roy Spencer, recently updated. UAH satellite-based temperature of the global lower atmosphere coming from the University of Alabama, Huntsville, showing just 0.2 degrees C above the 40-year baseline. We're all burning up. The official hurricane forecast track could be confusing to the public. Well, the public isn't that smart. And what they're warning here is that these cones do not depict reality. And the actual hurricane force winds or storms are far wider than the cone of depression or prediction. However you want to look at it. Flooding threats in the west and southeast this week. What a tweak. Monsoonal storms will continue to generate flash and urban flooding impacts into midweek from the intermontane west into the high plains along the Rocky Mountain front. Flash and urban and isolated river flooding impacts are possible through Friday from coastal Virginia through Georgia coast, and stalled front brings periods of heavy rain to the coastal plain. Take a look at these flash flood warnings in our region. Well, Archuleta's not in there, thankfully, but the high mountains are, and that's coming our way. Hey. It's going to be hot, in the desert where it's always hot. And in fact, it is much below normal in all of Arizona, Death Valley, barely 100, while it may be 106 in Nebraska in just a week. We'll get to that. Here we're looking at the total GFS accumulated precipitation for the country, and heads up to North Carolina and the Outer Banks. You're about to get 16 to 20 inches of rain through mid-August. And so that's a big heads up there. Pensacola and the Panhandle also going to be having some flooding situations. And northern Michigan, Wisconsin, heads up. Big rain. It's insane. But the Four Corners region, more drought relief. All of Nevada, Southern California picking up a little bit, maybe up to a third of an inch of rain through mid-August. And Oregon and Washington State, wow. A lot of precipitation. Well, a lot in the sense of desert precipitation. You're going to be getting some moisture, and that's good news. Strong earthquake swarm ongoing on the Reykjanes Ridge. At midnight on the 1st of August, 2021, an earthquake swarm seems to have started deep on the Reykjanes Ridge. The current distance seems to be around 220 kilometers away from Reykjavik, or 190 kilometers from Grindavik town. And at this distance, the location from Icelandic Met Office are not accurate. So here you see the swarm happening 24 hours ago. The active region of the volcano in Fagradalsfjall is just north of this star. Boom, right there. And some of the larger volcanoes like Bardabunga are on this glacier where there's also seismic activity. And we're keeping a close eye on that for you folks. Here is the official data. There's the swarm in question. That's about 24, a little bit ago, yesterday. Things have quieted off since now. But what is happening at depth in Iceland? Stay tuned. Alaska volcano under watch as explosive activity possible after the 8.2 magnitude earthquake. Now, if you read the article, there is no connection between the 8.2 magnitude earthquake and the volcano. But the headline certainly makes it seem so. So they're talking about the Great Sitkin volcano could be about to blow, and as well as many other. We're talking Tanaga, Garioli, Semisopoichnoi, and many other volcanoes in that region. Has nothing to do with the displacement in that region. Seismic update 6.0, Nicobar Islands, India region. That's a big boomer. Northern, aftershocks. That is in northern Indonesia. So could be associated with some volcanism. We don't know until we know. Worldwide volcano news update. Shivalush, Tucono, Reventador, Nevados de Chilan, Uluwan, Swanosima. And wait till you see what's on the plate for today. Hey, Stromboli, Ibu, Diang. Have you even heard of that? I doubt it. But we do have some fantastic updates. Stromboli on the Aeolian Islands. The Volcano Observatory published a series of infrared images showing last night's sudden, violent explosion at the summit, leaving ash in many regions around Italy. And it was scary. A stronger than usual explosion occurred at 22:01 local time at the volcano. And an, SO2 plume from Etna's 31 July 1st August eruption is seen on Sentinel here, spreading across Europe, bigger than normal. And that's a boom. The Stromboli. It's delicious. Lake Huron sinkhole surprise. The rise of oxygen on Earth is linked to change in planetary rotation rate. A lot of people are really consumed with this rate of spin, plus or minus a few milliseconds. And all you have to do is go over to timeanddate.com and find out the fact that a day is not exactly 24 hours. Hours of powers. But the fact that the change in the rotation is so small, it means, almost nothing to most people on a year-to-year basis. But according to this paper, and here we see the shortest day this year, October 31st, minus 2.31 milliseconds, a difference of less than 1 millisecond from last year, which means nothing. Possible link between Earth's rotation rate and oxygenation is a bigger scale event and has nothing to do with milliseconds, more like hundreds of milliseconds, perhaps, but a biotic and abiotic control in the major shifts of the atmosphere. Anyway, what they're getting to is this paper links the coinciding increases in day length and atmospheric oxygen via enhanced net productivity. So the more it spins, the more oxygen, the less it spins, the less oxygen, apparently. Behind the rise of U.S. solar power, a mountain of Chinese coal. Now, here is the ruse. The green movement wants you to think that they're going to save the world, save your ass, save the planet. But the fact is, manufacturing photovoltaic cells is actually more detrimental to Earth than burning natural gas or fossil fuels in general. And that is the oxymoron to the green movement. Space station situation with Russian module misfire is more serious than stated. You may have heard that there was a misfire on the Russian space station, and it reported a 45-degree list in attitude, but in fact, it was more like a skateboarding move, a 540 shorty, and that's a boom to misinformation. Yeah, this baby was blown way off course. It actually flipped a 1.5, and they had to do another half to move it back. But it's anyone's guess. International sunspot numbers. Many people are wondering what's happening to sunspot. Some people just use magic marker and make it look like this. Others use dotted lines. This is all of the estimated solar cycle 25 predictions from all of the top scientists, including NASA, Jeff Sharp, whoever that guy is, Salvador, 2013, Sarkova, Svalgard, Zhu, Kashkevsky, NASA, and others. And most of them show an equal cycle to 24 or lesser, except this magic marker. Who's correct? Well, it's like throwing darts at a board. And that's a boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance. When the dystopian world you live in is the world you live in. Hello. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with like-minded people. And be safe. We love you.